once I walked out of my house to like go to school in the morning, and the neighborhood tow truck driver, okay, who was an alcoholic who drove the tow truck hammered every day, and everyone knew it, and still called him to pick their car up or whatever.
They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, look who's back.
Hey, it's Drew.
Drew's back.
Hey, bud.
What's up, guys?
You look jacked, kind of.
We out here, me and Brian. I feel like every time I wear a tank top in the last like 5 months, you say that, which I appreciate as a comment, but it's
really?
like you keep being shocked. It's funny.
I don't recall me having said that. So yeah, I'm just every week's a reset for me, man, which is like a nightmare as far as like handling business and being in relationships and stuff. But it is cool that like, reruns ain't the same for me.
Yeah,
it's just new hits all the time.
You got to redo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to redo
exactly.
all of it. So it's like
everything.
I get that.
Yeah, everything.
I didn't realize I'd missed 2 in a row. Are we cutting out? What'd you say?
No, I didn't say nothing. You're good. You missed 2 in a row, yeah, because you've been dead.
Well, not me.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like I'm freezing, guys. It's like making
I just wasn't gonna. If you wanted to talk about your reason, I was gonna let you, but I wasn't gonna prod it. That's all that was.
I talked about it on Gravy Baby. We went through the whole thing. DJ struggled in general with it. He loves animals, and then it brought up his feelings about Duke, his great dog. Mick Jagger pup. The Mick dog, Sir Nicholas Morgan, is no longer with us. I physically, literally buried him myself. He had a great life. He had a great run. We can talk about it as much or as little as you guys want. It's very heartbreaking, but it's so hard to feel anything other than, I guess, gratitude's the word when you get 14 and a half years with a basically perfect dog. Other than barking at people annoyingly when they would come over for about a minute and a half to 3 minutes, depending on who you are, Trae.
Yeah, I hit for him every time.
Yeah.
Well, he barks at almost everybody, but it's the difference between a minute and 3 minutes has to do with he can read your heart. But Andy's obviously pretty heartbroken. It's tough. Anyone who's lost a dog is tough, but people have been really sweet. And in fact, this might be strange, but one person wrote something that I thought was so beautiful. It was like, well, I can't say it any better than that. So we can move on because it is a bummer. But again, it's beautiful. I want to honor Mick. But can I just read what this person commented on the Gravy Baby episode when I talked about it?
Trae, you can go on mute if you want to.
Sorry to be cheap. No, I think this is. I love it. A good perspective. Yeah. Sorry about your dog, Drew. My last dog spent his last few years having terrible seizures. By the time he finally passed, it was heartbreaking, but almost a relief that I didn't have to see him go through that anymore. And now I totally get why you have been missing the WellRED recordings. No one should have to be exposed to Corey while they're grieving. I feel like that was really something that was heartfelt. And I read that at Mick's graveside. Yeah, I read it at Mick's graveside. And
get the whole thing tattooed on
your
back.
When I did a butterfly landed nearby, and me and Andy embraced, and I was able to say goodbye.
That's amazing.
Expertly done. I did not see that coming at all.
I didn't either. Really,
that was really hit for me.
Last thing I will say, I don't know
what
hard
y'all it's been to save that.
That's great.
It's a 6-day-old
hit.
I can send it to Mark when we're done now.
Yeah, right. I think inarguably it made it hit harder because I was definitely. You sold it, man. I was expecting some real, and something that I would enjoy and feel because I'm a dog lover, but that Trae would just be fucking eyes rolling in the back of his head. This is stupid. They're fertilizer.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even think of that, but when I realized you were locked in and Trae hated me, I was like, "Oh, this is
I did
double."
not.
It's like,
I
this is
didn't
gonna
hate it.
crush in so many ways.
I was
I'm about
like-
to just completely flip them.
No, I do want to
Yeah.
say this. Whatever the fuck you were feeding Mick, that's what all dogs should eat, because it was hard, even though I know that he was 14 and a half, it was hard for me to believe that, because like he was always just
Yeah,
a
man.
fucking puppy. Like,
I'm gonna be honest.
that's remarkable.
I think he would have made it to like 20. Well,
I do
and he made
too.
his food for years.
Yeah.
And then
well,
she started buying the expensive stuff. I think he would have made it to 20. It was kidneys. His kidneys failed, and we're pretty sure that walkabout he went on that resulted in upwards of 40 ticks, and did end up giving him the dog version of Lyme disease and all that. None of which is necessarily deadly for dogs, but I do think that is like that sped up.
Yeah,
his
that took a
kidney
toll.
issue. I think his kidneys
sure.
had to work overtime, and then they were like, you know what? Let's die on this farm in Tennessee.
Yeah, fuck this.
But no,
Yeah.
it's all been hard, but it's all been really, I don't know, man. Maybe it's because of the kid. Maybe because shout out Teats. Teats sends me his gratitude list every morning, so I just been sending one back. And it's like there's so many mornings where I'm like, this is like, I don't feel gratitude in my heart right now. I'm just going through the motions. But I don't know if it's that or the kid or just all of it. I don't know, man. Literally, I mean, I've cried a lot, but all week I've just been like, God damn, man. I so won with that dog.
For sure.
Which that's what makes it sad. But like, we got so much time with him. We got bonus time when we thought he ran away and got ate by a coyote. And then, like I said, that message I'm going to get tattooed on my back.
I definitely think the kid thing has a lot to do with it, because I've never experienced it, but I have thought about that a lot. And like, because I still think of Palmer sometimes. Like, that's how stupid I am with dogs, and I know you will be too. I mean, he's been dead for like 4 years. It took me like 2 years to even be able to cut through the pet food aisle in a grocery store. But I've been thinking recently, like, in how close me and Bane are, and how much I was like, I bet it, like, 'cause I know he's going to want to get a dog, and I've been like, God damn it, I don't want to go through it again, man. I just don't want to fucking go through it again. And I was like, I bet it will be easier. The hard part will be watching him die for my kid, obviously. But like, yeah, like once you have the love of a child, like Bane makes me forget about all my problems pretty immediately when he's just being cool. So I feel like that'd be one of them.
So let me ask y'all
and I
this.
think you're right.
Like, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but how much different was y'all's childhood experience than mine as far as, so you're just about Bane, he'll want a dog. It's going to be heartbreaking when he ultimately has to lose that dog. When he's in high school, he's about to graduate high school and go to college, and the dog dies of old age and everybody cries. And it made me think about how, like, I literally couldn't even tell you how many different dogs I had as a child. And I'd say they lasted on average 6 to 8 weeks, probably.
Like, they ran away, got ran over.
All that, just all that. They got all that. You name it. They got plowed by a truck in the road. They got fucking poisoned or shot by a neighbor. They just ran off and never come back. Like, I mean, dude. No, we just went through them.
With this.
Okay, well, that's why and I was just sitting here, because he was saying about Bane, I was like, I just was like, I never had that experience at all. But then I was like, it seems like they would have had this, did they not have the same experience I did? And I mean, I get older.
One in middle school, but ours lasted longer. Yeah, we had generational pets.
Okay,
I had both. We weren't allowed to have inside dogs, so I had outside dogs, which that explained. Like,
that's where the coyotes are,
right?
And we didn't tie them up or pin them up or nothing like that. You know what I mean? And they were outside, so they just right.
And so, percentage wise, you're gonna lose a lot of dogs as you did.
Yeah.
So here's what happened with me, though. Here's what happened with me. We got a Feist when I was like 3 or 4. Feisty is what we named her. I think my brother did it. He was 7. Let's go easy on him. That was my dog. Like, she just latched on to me. She loved me. We had that dog 8 years. You do the math, like 3 to 11. That dog, I would sit down on the porch, and it would just force its nose under my arm. It would cuddle me every time I came outside. It followed me everywhere. Would not get her fixed. Don't know why. I mean, every time she got pregnant, my dad would get mad, but no one would
What
take
do
her
you do
to
with
the
the dogs?
goddamn vet.
Yeah, that's what I want to know too. What happened to the puppies?
Yak, yak, yak.
Depends.
Yeah,
Some very positive and some very negative outcomes, depending on, how were the Vols doing that year, boys?
right.
Take it out on a bag of puppies.
That dog died when I was like 11 and crushed me.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Like cried
We'd had the
for
preacher
3
come over.
straight weeks. Told my mom I hated her because she had told me ignorantly that there might be a medicine we could get it. And then we got down to Wartburg to like go grocery shopping, and I was like, "Let's go to the fucking vet right now." And she was like,
Fucking 12 gauge
"Son,
pill.
she went to the woods to die. She's not coming back." We get home, dog's back. So then we drive back to Wartburg to get the medicine. I literally don't even like now. At the time, I thought we're gonna go get something. She's gonna drink it. She's gonna be fixed. No, my mom probably went in that vet and was like, "Just give me a fucking bottle of something." I made the mistake of giving this kid hope, and now I have to keep it going.
Right.
We drive back home. She's gone again into the woods. Never see her again. I told my mom I hated her. Like that.
I get it,
broke
dude.
me.
I'd hate her
I
too.
never loved another dog till Mick Jagger, and
Yeah.
that wasn't conscious. Like not consciously because I was too little, but I remember like being in college and mom was like, "Sweet Pea died," and I was like, "Who?" She was like, "Our dog," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Fuck that dog.
And so Mick, when we get him, Andy's like, "We're gonna have an inside dog." They were inside dog people. I was like, "The fuck we are? We're not having inside dogs. There's gonna be hair everywhere. This sucks." My one rule was not on the bed. Then, like, if we're gonna do this, that dog cannot ever be in the bed with us on my bed. If I catch him on the bed, I'm gonna beat it. Like just being a dumb redneck, right? Of course, like day 3, I'm catching him on the bed all the time. I'm not beating anybody because it's not really who I am anymore. Well, guess where Mick died? In my bed. Andy and I have separate beds now because of Rozzy. He died in my bed. Like I went from like, I'll never love another dog again, and if you let that dog near my pillow, I'll kill both of you. To fast forward, like I put him on my bed when he was sick, and that's where he died. So
Glad you didn't snap and beat him.
So
it's been a long time since I've done that.
Yeah, but I know people. This is one of those things that I just know that people listen to, and it's just like unforgivably barbaric, and I get that. But like, in Salina, like I used to have a bit about how dogs don't go to the vet. Like the fucking vet is for cows and horses and animals that make money and shit like that. Like fucking not a dog, but like literally, people they didn't get fixed, they didn't get shots, they didn't get like. They were just born and then went to your yard and then good luck. And, and they'd either get like I said, diseases, run over, poison. It just, and that's just how dogs were treated. And we alluded to when they get pregnant and have puppies, the puppies were bagged up and, thrown off the dam
You didn't get 1 or 2
or whatever. And this is just so only one, and it was right as so maybe this makes it sound like I was doing something to these dogs the whole time, which I wasn't, I promise. But when I was in high school, like my sophomore, junior year of high school, somewhere around in there, we found a new puppy somewhere, named her Layla, and then I moved off. Do what?
Because of Clapton?
Yes, my dad, yeah. It's funny because Eric Clapton's like a virulent racist and horrible person, but sure could shred though. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Nobody knew.
So no, that's true. At that time, people did not know that because this was, like I said, I was in high school.
He really did it backwards.
20-something
He
years
got
ago.
so much more out of that earlier in his career, and he was like keeping it. What an idiot.
Yeah, but so named her Layla. She was sort of like corgi-ish, but definitely like a street mutt. But and then I went off to college, and Layla died of old age years later. Like after my dad died, Mama had her for ever. I mean, so that would have probably got Layla in 2002. So yeah, she probably made it till I mean, the
And meant nothing to you.
mid 2010s. No, Layla was cool. She was precious. But I'm saying when I was there as a kid, no, none of them had, I mean, any staying power. It wasn't just dogs, by the way. Everybody knows I love cats. Cats too. We had a cat once. I walked out of my house to like go to school in the morning, and the neighborhood tow truck driver, okay, who was an alcoholic who drove the tow truck hammered every day, and everyone knew it and still called him to pick their car up or whatever. It's 7:15 in the morning. I walk out to go to school. The cat is not really in the road, but is in the yard by the side of the road, and he comes hurtling down this fucking small back street going like 60 miles an hour at 7 a.m. hammered drunk, and just smushes that cat right in front of me and my sister. Never slows down, just hauls ass back. Like, dude, it was an absolute horror show when I was, and this was all just completely, totally fucking normal. And like, people don't know or understand this shit, you know?
Some people do. Let me say this.
There was another one.
Hold on. I'll let you tell the other one, but let me just say this. Let me get this off. There's been a mystery on the internet lately of who the fuck is Jelly Roll. Now, we've been talking about him for years, but as he's like on American Idol now. And there's this thing of like, how is this dude who's listening to this? People who saw some shit like that growing up. That's a Jelly Roll concert. If you go to a Jelly Roll concert and take a survey, they all saw a pet die because a drunk neighbor ran over it and their dad didn't care.
Yeah. So, the other one that comes to mind, and again, I know we're all laughing about this. I know a huge chunk of the listeners are, again, so appalled, and it's not funny.
Sorry.
I know, because they're so sensitive. I know.
Dog,
all I'm doing is reporting the news. I was a child for all this. I just witnessed it. Another one that comes to mind, we're talking about how much
not
they
been an alcoholic, and it would have still been funny. But my God,
biggest drunk in town, dude. fattest, dumbest, drunkest motherfucker in all of Salina. His name was literally Bubba. Like Bubba, I'm not making any of that up.
Bubba killed my pet cat.
Yeah, and his dad talked like fucking Farmer Fran or whatever from. That's how his dad talked. But anyway, all just pure insanity. But one time, like I was talking about, they might have lasted on average 6 to 8 weeks. That average is being pulled down by at least one particular pet, because I remember we were in between dogs, and my aunt like called one day and was like, "Hey, in my trailer park, there's a box of dogs."
For a special, by the way, if you're in between dogs, is amazing.
My aunt called, was like, "Hey, and down here in our trailer park, there's a box of dogs. If y'all want one, you know." So we're like, "Yeah, let's go get a dog." Told our dad, this is post divorce, it's just us and our dad already, and he drives us over there, and it's these little, like, they're mutts but little snow white, they look like white lab puppies, you can imagine, like very standard dog issue dogs, but they're like pure white, so they're they're pretty cute, especially for like Salina boxed dogs. Pretty nice.
Like the Titleist Pro V1 in the
woods. A boxer? Right, no, that's a box dog.
Right. So we got one, a little boy dog. I mean, and they're like freshly weaned and all this shit. Take it home, name it Elvis. I remember that. I remember his name was. We named it Elvis. Leave him outside like we left every other dog outside. Get up to go to school in the morning. This particular instance, me and Paige are probably 11 and 8, 10 and 7, something around there. We got him the day before, put him outside that night, get up to go to school in the morning. We get in the car with my dad. He cranks the car up. He puts his arm over the seat and goes to back up. And as soon as the car moves an inch, we just hear like snap, right? And he was like, "Oh, well, what was that?" He puts it in park, gets out, and you can just hear him go, "Oh man," God damn, yeah, right. He fell asleep right behind, underneath, like wedged underneath the back tire of the goddamn car. The first night we had the fucking thing, he didn't make it 24 hours, dude. like it's like it was literal like animal abuse. Just me and my sister having pets as children. Like it's like criminal negligence. Just oh my god, dude. This is to say nothing of the litany of hamsters, iguanas, fucking birds, everything. Like nothing survived. Nothing, dude. Oh my god.
Cousin Jared's cat. I think this was like week 1. Cousin Jared's kitten, also the neighbor. Cousin Sherry's boyfriend John, he had his hood off his car. I might have just been missing, you know. And I guess the kitty had got in there because when he parked, it was warm inside that. Yeah. Buddy, he cranked that thing the next day, and I guess it scared the cat when he cranked it, so it jumped. It cut that fucking cat in like 4 pieces and swung it all over the inside of the car. And then we all had to go look at it.
Of
Jared
course,
was squalling, snot coming out. We was all like, "Hey, come look! Cousin John accidentally slaughtered the cat. Dude, there was guts.
We had that
everywhere.
We had literally that same thing happen once with a cat, but that cat must have been in a different part of the engine and got crazy lucky because my dad fired the engine up and you just hear like wah, but it like shot out from under the truck and ran off and was fine. But used up 4 or 5 of its 9 lives, I guess.
I think maybe John had a few screens and guards missing underneath there where the hood was also gone.
It's a fucking car motor. Yeah,
them
9 lives ain't doing shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate to say this, but I would genuinely love if there had been like a 300 frames per second camera filming that. I would love to see a cat get torn apart by a car just to see what it does in slow motion. Like, I know it sounds fucked up.
No, you're not morally wrong. I'm not getting on to you. I think that's just like, and we've talked about this on here before, I saw Joe Rogan years ago in college reacting to someone showing him 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Oh, yo, that's right.
And in that video, he says, "Nothing's going to shock me, dude. I saw a guy get fucked to death by a horse." Yeah. And that sentence was funny, so I went and looked at it. I think you want to see that cat situation, and then if you did, you'd be like, I don't know why I did that.
What about it? Because cats are pets, though. What about like if it was a gazelle or something? Like, would that make me? Because I understand it would be hard for a cat. Because I do associate cats. I've loved cats. I have a cat that I love. But like,
what is weird?
See a tiger eat a gazelle.
That's what I was about to say. What is weird about what you're saying is that it's like seeing a pack of predators rip an animal apart or something can be. I mean, that can be fucked up too. I told you recently on another episode.
I
saw one where
entertainment.
I saw one where like a lioness like bit a fucking antelope's dick off while it was alive, to start and like that,
Ooh.
But like some of the things like nature is metal stuff. Sometimes it's like. It's wild and it does hit in a wild way, but even that sometimes though you're like, God damn, this is too much.
For sure.
But
you don't know where the line is till you see it.
But like Drew was saying, that horse, I never saw that horse video, but I remember I was going to ask another thing about childhood, the halcyon days of the internet, right? Were people at y'all's school or either of y'all or anybody into those like rotten.com or bangedup.com or those sites? Because like I had some buddies that were super into that and I always hated that shit. Yeah. And they would like trick me into watching it or be like, "Oh, watch it. Stop being a pussy. Watch this." And it's literally like a captured Russian soldier getting decapitated with a dull knife or whatever.
I know, right. I saw that one too. It's
fucked up. It's like, what the fuck? And it's like, just like whatever teenage edgelord shit.
That was the Daniel Pearl video, wasn't it?
I don't know. I just remember.
It was my sophomore year of college before that kind of thing started happening, and some people were into. They were like, "Check this out," and I was like, "Fuck off!" And there was very little like, I was at an age where like I don't remember many people trying to trick me into doing it after that. I hated that shit. Me too. One dude, Jeffrey Gocher, he kept showing me gonorrhea vaginas.
I got lucky.
Blue waffles.
Yeah, Blue Waffle Lemon Party. Yeah, Blue Waffle has ruined my
Lemon Party's funny, dude.
Lemon
That's
Party
so
is funny. That one's fine. But Lemon Party and Blue Waffle, those kind of came as a package deal. And Lemon Party, yeah, it's just a bunch of old dudes sucking each other's dicks. Hell, that's all right. But you know,
Tub
nothing
Girl,
wrong.
Goatsy.
Tub Girl was rough.
Tub Girl.
Luckily
I thought Tub Girl was funny. I'd get people with Tub Girl.
Luckily for me, when this stuff was popular, we didn't have cell phones or nothing. So in order to see it, it had to be you go over to someone's laptop. So there wasn't someone constantly being able to put it on your face or shove it into your phone. But like, yeah, I remember like the Two Girls, One Cup. Like, you don't like seeing it. You like after you have seen it, you're like, well, fuck, they must see this too. Like, that's what the people like, is the showing of it. But dude, that dude, like, I saw a dude squat on a glass bottle, and I was like, dude, no more. That guy's hurt. Like, I can't. Like, that hurt me, you know. But yeah, I feel like if it was that's
one guy, one jar or something is what they call it. Yeah. Is that what they call it? That's another famous one. I never saw that one either, but yeah, those types of videos that the internet's all about, those have never hit for me. I've never understood the appeal of those.
Well, I will say, leave it to Trae. We opened this podcast talking about the death of my precious, perfect angel dog, and Trae's like, man, you remember when they used to like cut dogs in half on the internet? That's wild. God damn.
I was thinking, I was like, of all the stuff we've ever talked about on this podcast, this is the one that we most need to put a trigger warning at the beginning, or like an explicit, like, hey, don't, because yeah, all this shit is fucking hilarious to me, but I know there's some people that it ain't too, and I get it.
Hey,
I get it.
This is so funny. This just happened. I got an alert on my phone. I just got a Venmo request by someone who says they're a fan. They're asking for $10 because they're going through a rough breakup and they want a drink. That's so fucking wild. I think I might give him the $10 just because that's the most insane, ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
I've gotten. Can you just like search? You can just like search for people on Venmo, right? Like that. You just type in a name or whatever.
I've gotten plenty of give me monies, but not just like, hey man, I'm a fan. I'm going through a rough patch.
Honesty.
I mean, I'm saying I'll get them every now and then. Like, it always don't hit for me, obviously. A Venmo request because it's always
$10.
No. It's always more, and it's always like
that makes more sense.
Lose my house or whatever.
Right. That makes more sense to me because that's either an insane person or a desperate person. This is just a sad guy asking me to buy him a beer. That's so goddamn. I've never met him as far as I know.
Yeah. Send him the 10. I'll send you another 10 to send him.
That's harder.
That's a dangerous precedent.
You know what I mean, Trae? Like what you're doing. Like obviously, because if they're telling the truth, then it pulls at you. But at the same time, you can't be doing that.
Believe they're not. Yeah,
but I'm saying that's a desperate or a crazy person. This dude is just I think just somebody with real bad manners. Like you don't know me, dude.
Just shoot, man. That's
shooters do shoot, man, and like I think that's why we haven't really made it this far in this business, because that behavior that guy's exhibiting to Drew is actually the type of behavior you should have in this business. Is like, be obnoxious, ask, and we don't have that.
Right.
4 strangers have asked me if they can open for me in the last month and a half.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
strangers. If we work together, that's dude. Absolutely, I do recommend openers and stuff. But I don't know you. What do you mean?
Yeah, like you're cold calling, trying to feature, dog.
But hey, whatever.
Well, yeah, but the other one is like
my point. To your point,
right?
People always say it's not stand up, but another facet of the industry. You always hear these stories about. Whatever, someone like, I don't know, pretending to be or being a caterer at some event and going up to some big producer or director and slipping them a script or whatever out like out of nowhere, cold.
Never.
And then it works. But then you always also hear people hear those people on the other side of that, but not just them, but anybody in the industry say like, oh yeah, no, that, we literally can't read scripts like that, because if we then make a movie that is remotely similar to any of that shit, we could be sued. So we have to have a policy of never reading any of them. So that won't work. So don't even try it. But then you literally hear story, and maybe it's all just old stories of a different time where that used to work, but whatever, you just still hear stories of people
some of them still
taking their shot and doing some shit like that, or just basically pestering people, whatever. Like, you got to put yourself out there. And I'm just like,
that guy.
it just blows my mind that it ever works like on anybody, you know, because I'd be like, bruh, no. Like,
I mean, I feel like the people that do it, you know, obviously the ones that have been successful in it are like outliers that like, no, it's because they really hit or they were super good looking and charming. Like, you know, John Hamm could get away with doing that more so than I could. You know what I mean? Like he fucking looks like John Hamm, but like, I feel like though people that look like John Hamm are just like, I'll be fine just looking like John Hamm. I'll just go audition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
I'm
that.
trying to think if I've ever done it, of any version of it. Trae, you got one. It was
yeah, right. I did. I was drunk, and that's
different. That was a soliloquy.
Yeah, that was also the tone of that was very much like,
fuck
y'all don't know shit if you don't think I hit or whatever.
Yeah. And you were spitting
like,
Kanye Twitty.
Yeah, but yeah, that for everybody. I mean, we've definitely told it on here before, but over the year. But I sent an unsolicited email to an executive at CMT in the pre-hit days when I was drunk one night, just telling him like, look, if you don't see what I got to offer a network like CMT, then you don't know shit. Basically, I was a little more diplomatic than that, but it was insane. I sent it to Corey and Drew the next day. I was like, hey, y'all think this was like, you know, too much or whatever? And Drew, he was the first to respond. He goes, well, it appears to be a manifesto. And then we started calling it the manifesto. And then when it first like went viral and stuff, and we got the book and they wanted to call it the Liberal Redneck Manifesto, that was hilarious too, because they didn't even know that had been a running joke already. But yeah, so that's the only time I can think of that I've ever done it, and it didn't amount to anything. Even once I started hitting, it didn't amount to nothing.
It's too late now. But if you had 2 years in, got drunk, and then replied to that and been like, bet y'all regret not replying, bitch.
So
I love that Drew said
kind of related, but not exactly.
Wouldn't that just be weird?
Yeah, it wasn't the same person.
He didn't amount to anything.
So right, yes, that too. But
I know what the bit you were doing was, but that's not what I meant.
Surely, or relatively early on in the hitting period, I had lunch with T-Bone and Callie, and there's a bunch of other people there, including the guy who was no longer, but had very recently been the president of CMT. And during this lunch, he was like, I'll tell you something right now. If you'd ever walked through the door when I was there, I wouldn't have let you leave without, giving you something or whatever. And I was like, all I did was like, yeah, I hear you, but in my head, I was like, you don't know how funny and wrong that is. What?
Man.
Dog, I'd have got the phone out.
You had to got it out.
I'd have slammed it.
Y'all got a printer?
I'd have been like,
I'll be right back.
Today.
Well, I know that dude, because I remember for sure it was a woman that I emailed.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But I know, and I don't even remember how I got her email address either. Like,
that's
me and
funny
Corey
too.
Isn't it
You
because you
sweating
guys
drunk
did a
getting her email
tryout with
address?
Huh?
No, y'all did that.
We did a showcase thing, but
Yeah.
was there a CMT? Was it that person? Was she there?
Maybe it was right after that, because, and again,
it definitely was right after that.
And that's why it hit for me so hard, because me and you had just run up there to a cold crowd because the comics weren't hitting, and smoked, and absolutely smoked back to back. So I was like, fucking hell yeah, wish you'd have CC'd me on that bitch. But now I don't know if that woman was there or you just did some Google. I mean, you was on them military computers at the time. You could fucking figure anything out.
Yeah,
I was funny. So the one like that, this is quick. When we were working with Comedy Central and we were getting very frustrated with them, rightfully so, now we kind of realized they were imploding the whole company. But they were like jerking us around, not giving us a show, putting us on their digital platform. All of our fucking sketches would go viral. They'd suck our dicks. But then like the people above the people sucking our dicks, I think is – but anyway, I did a show, a very hip, cool show in New York that Petey hosted. It was Petey's show. Petey Diabru, our old friend from our not Cellar. Fuck, what was the name of that club?
The Lantern. Or the
the Lantern Day.
Yeah.
Anyway, he hosts at the Cellar now. Anyway, Petey had a show and I was in town. He threw me on, and dude, Che was on it. Michael Che, fucking Nimish Patel was on. I mean, it was killer. Joe Zimmerman. I smooshed. Like I fucking murdered. One of the best sets ever. And this woman had introduced herself to me right before I went up there and was basically like, I'm your New York counterpart of the people you've been working with at Comedy Central in LA, which meant that I do sketches in New York on the digital platform. This is a young nobody. When I got off that stage, she was like, "That was a great set." I was like, "Yeah, and you better fucking tell everybody in your whole department how good it was, and that y'all need to stop jerking us around, and also put us on the stand-up side of your digital platform because they let us do sketches." And the way she looked at me, I'll never forget. She looked at me like, "Oh, you're insane."
Right.
And then Reggie Cush, who's now on Wild and Out, was standing there, and he goes, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
He goes, "That girl don't know nobody at Comedy Central, you dumbass."
I've probably done it and don't remember.
Oh, I know you've done it.
Not cold, but I reached out to Sam Morrell when he was doing the Bijou, and we had worked together once. And Gary Veter was opening for him. I didn't know that. He told me, but he was like, "I was like, I'll send you a tape. I don't know if you got anybody. I know sometimes you look for locals in these situations. We're a few months out. I'm actually in Knoxville now." He was very kind because he was like, "Dude, I know you're funny. You don't need to send me a tape, but I got Veter opening. It's kind of a closed deal." And I was like, "That's cool." That's the only 2 times I've done anything like that.
Corey, maybe this isn't exactly no, I think it is.
Okay.
In Nashville, we were hanging out with an executive from Warner Brothers on more than one occasion. You drunkenly let her know that, we were the special or we were the truth and a special singular talent, and all this stuff, and that they would be insane not to, make something out of it or whatever. I don't remember because I remember
we all just told the truth.
Right. But I wasn't, we were sitting in some restaurant and I was sitting there like, Lord, here he goes, like, cause I was, and,
well, the original thing we were talking about was unknowns who would sneak around and, perpetually ask people for favors and bother them. And while what I did was annoying, I don't think it's the same thing. We were at least there in some context to talk about how much we hit. You know what I'm saying? Like that was part of it. I may have laid it on a little too thick and lied.
Yeah.
Nah, you ain't ever laid it on too thick.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you have ever laid it on too thick, you know what you could do is thin it out with some stuff from IndaCloud. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Get a real good, just take all the haze away from you. You know what I mean? Get in there and relax. IndaCloud is absolutely fantastic marijuana that I've been using for a while now. It's a very, at least the amount that I take, a very delicate buzz, but I'm also able to still be creative on it. And that's not been the case with a lot. They sort of just put me out, but, not with this stuff. You ever sit down to watch one episode and suddenly it's 3 a.m. and you're emotionally invested in a bacon show from New Zealand? Well, our friends at IndaCloud make that journey way more enjoyable. They make legal hemp-derived THC products that are actually good. Seriously, they taste really good. And it's not that mystery brownie that your friend Dave baked and brought over, because you'll know exactly how many milligrams is in all this stuff. You'll be able to regulate it and all that stuff. And everything is third-party lab tested. They're compliant with the 2018 Farm Bill, federally compliant, and it ships discreetly. So your mailman don't even know what's going on. Like if you're like me and you're in a Southern Baptist town where people talk and you don't want them to know that you're getting these THC products, they got you hooked up. It's totally fine. One gummy per night for me is the ultimate chill. Really helps with, all my stress or whatnot. If you want to do better sleep, they got a gummy for that. They got the light social buzz and all that stuff. If you're 21 or older, grab 25% off your first order plus free shipping with code WellRED at indacloud.co. That's INDACLOUD.co. Code WellRED, 25% off, free shipping, and snacks suddenly taste like an adult Michelin star meal. Also, if you fill out their quick survey when you order, you will support this show. So appreciate that. Enjoy responsibly. And huge thanks to IndaCloud for sponsoring today's episode.
And let me just say, it's really good, and I am still thoroughly shocked as to how this is legal. It's wild to me that this product is so good, and then we are now getting to tell people about it on our podcast, and they can go use our code to get a discount. It's wild. It's
Well,
really good.
one thing too is the
Well,
reason that I forgot it was time for ads was because I was enjoying my Into Cloud Buzz and we were laughing so hard, and I was like, "Oh God, I got to promote this stuff." Go ahead, Trae.
I bet they have that problem a lot where they're like,
Right.
God damn, they got too high and forgot to do the fucking ad again.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what happened.
Well, welcome to the future, y'all. It's a brand new world. On one side you got how is this legal weed products that hit, and on the other side you got the fact that everything's a subscription service nowadays. Some of which are cool, some of which are not. But it is. It's just become a day-to-day life, part of day-to-day life. You get on your phone, you find some new app or service, you're like, that seems cool, seems like it hits. Also, that price doesn't seem so bad. Why not? Let me try it out. It hits for you for a couple of months and you forget about it, but then you also forget to cancel it, and you forget eventually that it ever existed, or certainly that you're paying for it each and every month. I feel like that's a universal experience in this day and age. It certainly happened to me, and that's why I want to tell y'all about our other sponsor this week, Rocket Money. That's right. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. So for me, I would use Rocket Money and found out the two primary ones that popped up. There was the dumbest one for sure was this app I got that lets you put your friends' faces onto popular reaction GIFs. So, I could put Corey's face onto like the bald dude that hosted Bake Off for a while, but not anymore. That British guy that's got alopecia and is real pale. Yeah. I could put Corey's face on a picture of him dressed up as a cupcake or whatever. Like stuff like that was useful to me. But it got old sort of quick, but I forgot to get rid of it. And I couldn't even, it was a ridiculous amount of money I ended up paying for it past the time when I used it. We're talking like 2 years here. But there was another one. I got a learn to play the drums app because one of my sons said, I want to play the drums. That lasted a week. I forgot. I bought a subscription for a learn to play the drums app, and I'd never touched a drum in my life. Spent, $300 on it or something over the course of a couple of years. And I would still be paying for both of those if not for Rocket Money. So it's a cool thing to help you get it back under control. Rocket Money shows you all your expenses in one place, including subscriptions you forgot about. If you see a subscription you no longer want, by the way, Rocket Money will help you figure out how to cancel it. If you've got a goal that you'd like to save up for, Rocket Money can analyze your accounts to find the best time each month to put some extra money aside. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you. The app automatically scans your bills to find opportunities to save and then goes to work to get you better deals. They'll even talk to the customer service people or robots so you don't have to. Rocket Money's 5 million members have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, with members saving up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. So cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/wellred today. That's rocketmoney.com/wellred. rocketmoney.com/wellred. Make it hit. All right. And we're back. What else is going on?
Well, I saw this thing earlier on Reddit. I was perusing and I saw the word redneck. And so naturally I decided to hop on. And this thing said, what's the most redneck thing you've seen someone do? I enjoyed a couple of these, and I would like to read them. This first one is from Icy Boy 121. He said, I watched my uncle reverse engineer his double barrel 12 gauge shotgun to a quad barrel. It worked twice, and then it exploded. And then someone said, was he okay? And he said, he lived, but he lost his left big toe, which is honestly pretty impressive that he didn't completely die.
I'd give my big toe for a quad barrel shotgun.
It's a small price to pay for that level of kicking ass.
This one dude says, oh boy, where the hell do I start? Drove around with a tarp in the back of a 96 Chevy and filled it with water to make a mobile pool. We've all seen that. That's
seen
not that
crazy.
Yeah, seen it. Yeah, washer broke, so strapped it to a dolly and filled it with ice and beer so it made a portable cooler for community days. That's not, again, I've seen crazier things. This one old boy transported his sheep in the back of a hatchback. Again, seen it, whatever. I've not seen sheep in the back of a hatchback, but that's pretty funny. This is great. I haven't seen anybody do this. We've done similar things, but threw a barbecue grill on a piece of plywood and strapped it onto a floaty so we could grill burgers and float down the river at the same time. That's pretty fucking sweet.
That rules.
That does rule.
Not that dangerous either. It's a little dangerous, but it's not that dangerous because mostly if something fucks up, it just goes to the water and goes out.
Right. Yeah.
Who cares?
If it flips over or whatever.
On the way down,
but I've only ever floated one river. It's called the Buffalo. It's down there in Southwest Tennessee where Katie's from.
It's a good river.
Let's say float the Buffalo. It's a big thing there. But like, I thought, having not done it before, I thought it would be a situation where you very, very lazily just float slowly down this river where you could, where you could like float beside a fucking beer, floating grill and keep up with it and flip burgers while drinking a beer and stuff. And it's like, and at least that one, it was not at all like that. It wasn't fucking full blown whitewater rafting or whatever. Like, definitely it wasn't that either, but it was like, there's no fucking way you could like have a floating grill beside you and manage all that while actually going down that river. It was a more faster pace than I reckoned for. I thought it was awesome, but also because I thought it was going to be super low pace, we took the boys with us, and at this time they're like 4 and 5. Ooh. And it was a bit much for them. They were like,
I would have been losing my mind.
Yeah, and then it started coming a Wrath of God thunderstorm before we got to the end of it too, and then a copperhead showed up.
Jesus.
Yeah, they were like terrified. This was all Father's Day, by the way, but it was fun. Everything worked out fine, and it was it was all funny in retrospect. And had my children not been there, it would have been a ton of fun, but still not what I had always gotten the impression it would be like, though. But that's just that one. I don't know if that's normal.
We spend a lot of time on rivers, and I've experienced both. Time of year is big too if it's not dam controlled.
Right.
Like the earlier in the season, the quicker it's going to be, which I think is kind of makes sense, self-explanatory. But I've definitely been on them up in the Smokies, especially late in the summer. So like when the school year starts back, you go back to school in the fall at Maryville. But it's like September, August, you head up there. There's definitely a few spots of you're just lazy rivering. And it's awesome. And you get drunk and you finger somebody. Anyway.
Got another
that does
one here.
Sound awesome.
Had an older lady with the worst cigarette voice I've ever heard call me a Chinaman, completely without a hint of irony or malice. That's just what she thought was the right term to use.
Read the username. You have the username there?
Yeah, it's L20.
So now we know Cho's username is L20.
Got it,
man.
Your way of getting to that was better than mine was going to be.
The established well-read lore is that there's a redneck woman who works at a gas station in Chickamauga who I assume smokes cigarettes, who thinks that Corey is Chinese, apparently. Yeah, well, maybe the emphysema got her,
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
What's y'all's?
What?
Most redneck thing you've ever seen?
I thought you meant Reddit username.
God, that's...
Man, I don't know.
You're like, no.
Yeah, well, I don't actually. I'm just a lurker. I don't post on there. But I'd really have to think about that, like, hard.
I've seen a girl getting butt fucked bent over a lawnmower at a party, but I feel like the lawnmower is the only thing.
Trash.
This is another pretty standard thing. Drew mentioned
definitely see that in Philadelphia.
Drew mentioned a hoodless car earlier. Paige had to go to the hospital when she was a teenager because she got it snowed and she got pulled behind a truck on the removed hood of another car. So you know what I'm saying? You take the hood off a car, flip it over, tie it to a truck, and then drag it through the snow like a fucking like tubing, but on a car hood in the snow. And she her had to go to the emergency room.
I'm sure for some people, not me, but for some people, their answer would be the time I saw Corey Forster's sister break his nose at a Jimmy Buffett concert. That'd probably be up there. I didn't, I mean, I saw it for a second, but that was the thing that happened to me. We went bowling with a dead possum one time, tied behind a
That's
Jeep.
pretty good.
We had, those blue trash cans that like the city uses for like, city waste or whatever. We went and stole a bunch of them from behind the power company, and we lined them up like bowling pins, and we tied this dead possum to the back of my buddy Chris's Jeep, and we would haul ass down this gravel road where they were, and then when you got to the end, you pulled the e-brake so that the possum would swing, and you knock over all those goddamn, the barrels or whatever. It was a lot of fun. And but this lady called the law on, and the possum was already dead. Like, we didn't kill no goddamn possum. And this lady called the law on us saying that we were dragging a dog around behind a car or whatever, and that we were in a Jeep. And so we get back to my buddy Chris's house, and the cops pull up, and they're like, "Hey, and he's holding a rope, and I'm holding a fucking hatchet." And he's like, "We heard that some boys were dragging a dog behind their car in a Jeep, and we have a camera. We filmed it." And we were just like, "Nah, we didn't drag no dog." And he's just like, "All right, bet," and then just left.
See yous later.
Yeah.
Buddy of mine who went to the Army
think I
came
got-
back from the Army and rented a car, didn't get the insurance on it, took it mudding up on Baldy, which is what they call it in Salina, and ripped the whole ass end out of it, and had to went into debt for like fucking $10,000.
Idiot.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. He also, same guy. Also, I might have told this before, but like you hear about this scheme sometime. It's a relatively common scheme where like like you can get paid by someone to marry them so they get a green card.
Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Right. Well, I was with some comics recently in LA, and they had a friend who was doing that, who was getting paid by a woman from somewhere in Asia so she could get a green card. And they said that the person they knew, this woman's family, was paying that guy like, I think it was like $30,000 or something like that.
A month or for the whole deal?
For the whole deal, I think.
Okay.
And I started laughing, and they were like, what are you like? And I was like, well, I had a buddy who went to the Army, same guy, who didn't even tell us anything was happening, just showed up at a house party when he was on leave once. And he was like, "Hey, this is my wife, Maria. She's, fucking Honduran or whatever she was." Didn't even like speak English. We were all like, "Your wife? What?" And he was like, "Yeah, no, it's a great deal." So, so I paid her she gets a green card out of this. I paid her whatever, but, and they paid me like $250. So, pretty sweet. And I swear to God, he right after that went to a gas station in Cookville, where I was going to college, and spent that $250 on a plastic kayak that was in that a gas station had mounted on the wall. And he was like, "Hey, is that for sale?" And he paid $250 for it, and then that was it just left. So
what a fucking idiot. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure he is. He fucking committed a felony for a kayak.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But that's also like, that's supposed to be harder than that, right? Like, there's a process.
Sure,
like, they check on that shit, don't they?
Yeah,
now,
you got to be convincing. That's why you need more money than $250. Right.
This was 20-something years, or, 20-ish years ago.
In?
I don't.
Did
dude,
he bring her in?
I don't know. Again, he literally showed up at a house party and was like, "This is my wife."
If he brought her in, she just wanted to be here. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
She didn't care. But if she's come with her to the party, she's got some kind of plan. I cannot top that guy for humor. Obviously, we know what I can say to top it just in terms of red cred. I mean, my brother murdered the guy who tried to molest my cousin Billy when he was married to my aunt years earlier. But those things happened years apart. That's what's so red about it, in my opinion. It's not like we caught you molesting cousin Billy. Boom, we're gonna kill you. It's like he killed a guy, and then cousin Billy was like, "Oh, that's the guy who tried to molest me. Remember when he was married to Aunt Sherry? God damn." Anyway, if it's not that one, it's Mamaw fighting the cop. and the dad of this kid wrecked in my mama's yard. The dad shows up and is yelling at him. Mama tried to hit him. The cop tries to stop her. Then she hits the cop. I had one more, but I forgot it. I mean, yours was so good it slayed me. Whatever it was I forgot ain't that great.
Well, the thing about your brother, I have a similar thing. The most redneck, at least redneck, I think, sounding thing about me that's true is that the girl I lost my virginity to, her dad killed my uncle years later over a dispute between their other children. So my first cousin and that first girl's sister, that guy's other daughter. And I know that's confusing, but it was like you said, totally unrelated. Me and the older daughter was just a thing that happened and was uneventful or whatever. And then a few years later,
it's a small town. That's the aspect.
Right,
of it.
right. And then a few years later, the other thing
my
happened.
other one. I've been to a wedding where first cousins got married.
Nice.
Yep. That's probably the most redneck thing I've ever seen. I was younger. I think my brother was in the wedding party.
Did they have kids?
Yeah.
How they doing? Like, are they your face?
Well, I was like, yeah, I could see it, but then I'm also like thinking about who the parents are. I'm like, well, I don't, I think that was going to happen to those people's kids anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Yes, it is hard to say. It's like a, causation
he was
and
gonna
what's the
be
word? Correlation
water.
and causation. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Corey wants us to close out. We've only got a few more minutes.
Well, we can go ahead and do
we'll plug some dates
and shit.
And that'll let me, I guess, talk about one more thing. I'm going to be in New Orleans Saturday, September 13th. I replaced someone who dropped. The guy who owns the club hit me up and was like, I know you're coming down next year, but do you want to just do this? And I was like, well, I'm in Nashville the night before. That's actually closer. Let me do the math. Fuck it. We're going to New Orleans. So September 13th, come see me in New Orleans. September 12th, I am in Nashville doing a show for a bunch of musicians at the Americana Festival, but I think they're going to open it up to the public. You can check on my socials. I'll be sharing stuff, but please come see me in New Orleans, September 13th.
Are you going to see producer Matt there?
In Nashville?
Yeah.
Probably, because I know that he helped put this thing on, but I didn't know he was going to be there.
Yep, he's going to be there.
I think I am.
Well, I'll tell you where I'm going to be. Upstate New York this weekend, Buffalo, Syracuse, Albany in that order. Then Hartford, Connecticut on Sunday. Then later this month, all the cities in Ohio except for Cleveland. Still love you, Cleveland. I'll see y'all next time. And then after that, the rest of this year, it's like Virginia, Madison, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Dallas, and Nashville with Corey and Drew at Zany's the week before Christmas, like every year. And I might be leaving a couple out, but I've also got a bunch of dates in 2026 already. South Carolina, Sacramento, bunch of places. So go to TraeCrowder.com and check them out and come see me. So yeah, did you say you had something else you wanted to say, or?
Yeah, I was going to talk about New Orleans, but I also wanted to ask you this. I just thought of this. Has this ever happened to you? I auditioned for a thing. I think you auditioned for it too. I was brought in kind of late. I think that I didn't fit the look, but then they were like, well, we haven't figured this out. Let's expand our look or whatever, And then I had a callback, and there were like 5 of the dudes with callbacks, supposedly. And then what I was told is they just decided not to make the show.
This is hilarious because I'm pretty certain that you're talking about a show that me and Corey both also auditioned for that same role. And what's hilarious, and I didn't have exactly the same because I was in it earlier, which I don't know if that's better or worse, but I was in the process earlier. I had 3 total, I think, things with them. It was like, they kept having me come back or whatever, and I was feeling pretty all right about it. And then I know that whatever Corey, and then yes, and then at the end of the day, they're like, you know what, we're just not going to do this at all, which is hilarious because it's damning for all 3 of us at the same time, which is very funny. But if you don't remember, I told y'all about that.
I know some other people it's damning for. I honestly think what happened is that the creator, the director, and the producers wanted different people, and then the network said, "Fuck y'all."
Right. Yes, I think that. Yeah, but that show that you're talking about, let's see if we're talking about the same one. I think we are. The premise of it was sort of similar to a show that we pitched, right? And I had texted y'all that
100%,
weeks ago. Yes, right. Yeah. That's funny. I knew that Corey got brought in late. I did not know that you had, but I also knew that they just canceled the whole thing, which is hilarious. Like, we'd rather just not even do this than do it with any of y'all or either of y'all.
Isn't
but
that so funny though?
Yeah. I mean, to be
Is that common, you think?
well, I think when I was, people are going to be listening like, what the hell are they even talking about? Because obviously they don't read the script, they don't know anything. But when I was doing it, I was like, I'm not surprised they're having trouble finding this guy, this character, because like in my head, I try to think through because it's like the lead, and I'm like, I can't think of an already established actor who I think would be good for this, but I could see them being like, what about this dude in FX? That was the network supposed to be for, but just being like, there's no fucking way we're casting a guy that has essentially no experience, like as the lead in this show, but yet there is, I don't know who
related to that.
So,
do you remember that comic who did a bit similar to yours about rednecks and cops? We got sent that years ago out of Austin.
Yeah, I think so.
He's friends with Maverick.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So he's a buddy of mine, and I don't want to now we're getting in the weeds in terms of how Hollywood works, and also people are like, you guys are speaking in codes. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
It seemed like there was a huge possibility that they were going to take a big swing with him.
I thought it would be him. I really did.
I did too, and I was like, okay, if you can't find someone, it makes sense to do a total unknown who kind of is the guy.
Is the guy.
And when I say is the guy, is when you read the character description, you're like, oh, that's my buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought the same thing, and I don't even know that guy personally, but
I was like, if I don't get it, of course I didn't really at the time know y'all were up for it, but I was like, I really hope they just give it to him instead of, this is what I told him when we had a phone call about it, some fucking British dude.
That's exactly what I said to Corey. When we found out they were canceling it, I was like, honestly, I'd rather that than a fucking British guy get cast. And I said the same exact thing, I swear to God. But I don't even know that guy. I just know who he is because of Maverick. Again, I hope people have just already left because they don't know what any of this means. But I know who that guy is, and I thought the same thing. I was like, who's going to get this is probably that guy. And
he thought it. He thought it. I mean, he was like, I know I'm too confident, dude. The way he said it, and he's like, he's a man's man. Like, he's one of the least Hollywooders I've ever known. And the way he said it was like, buddy, if they don't give it to me, whoever they did it, give it to fucking earned it. I'll tell you that right now.
Right. I think probably FX just didn't have the balls to, all they could find that they were kind of okay with was people that were unknown as far as acting goes, and FX was like, we're not going to put that kind of money behind that. That's what my assumption is, but obviously I don't know.
Stay doing that anyway.
All right, that's it. Okay, thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We'd love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew away fart.
Putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. We collected from our love of Downton Abbey. We collected, we found out we're both so fancy. Hey, what's the difference between rednecks and royal families? Only money, cause they both have sex with family. Ew. Putting on airs. What other rednecks to talk about foreign affairs? Laughing so hard that we end up falling out our chairs. Sir Trae, Sir Corey, oh what a pair. High class topics with a redneck flair, oh yeah. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Okay, it's Team Squirrel or Team Trae. Oh yeah, we keeping it count your blessings. Cause all the squirrels that you ran over, that you think are nameless, faceless, their families are getting together and plotting on you from the attic and basement. So even though Corey is dumb, fat, and bald, he knows how to avoid drama, don't get squirrels involved. Two rednecks, but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Two rednecks, but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs.